Good afternoon, everyone. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. It's been an eventful few hours on the Instagram. Last night it went a little bit crazy with Get Like Haley, aka Haley number 2, aka the American homewrecker that took and stole or allegedly stole Dorito smelling stinky feet boy Matthew Blevins from Haley number 1, who is pregnant with his son or with his daughter. 7 days after giving birth, they split. He gets with Haley number 2, and last night they joined one another on Instagram Live, which is insane. And during this Instagram Live rant, Matthew Blevins repeatedly dropped the N-word along with other obscene words and language. I have a clip that's 12 minutes. I'm going to show you some parts of it that will give you a good insight of what's going on. And then I have some reactions from the cast members who were in this film. Hey, stop. All right, here we go.
You like the way he looks.
Dylan Nicholson, you are straight mark on my mama, nigga. Neither you cannot
Who's Jake?
or my brother, nigga. Neither one of us are right here.
Who's Jake? Who?
Dylan Nicholson, boy, you're a bitch on my mom.
Who's Dylan?
Dylan Nicholson.
Who is Jake? Who's he even talking about?
It's some bag talking shit about you, so I didn't.
Like, where do you see that dude's name at?
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Every dude I see on
Alright, definitely gonna whoop all y'all.
First person to drop the address, we're pulling up.
Dylan Nicholson.
Game number 2, let's see.
Why do y'all feel bad for me? Like, I just don't understand.
Matthew, stop saying the N-word. It's 2019.
Nigga, what?
Matthew.
They act like I'm saying like the hard ER at the end of the word or something. I ain't being racist, bro. Like I'm sitting here with my nigga, bro, and nobody's gonna make me stop saying nigga.
He's racist. What is being?
Damn, Matthew really ain't shit. I'm confused. Michael said nigga what?
Michael said nigga what?
I'm confused.
Come hang out with me, kids.
Definitely not.
I'm lost.
It's Granny.
Harley put laughing emojis. Cause what the fuck is going on?
Everybody keeps saying how full on money, bro. Don't nobody know that if you're pregnant. Like, why do people keep saying that you're pregnant?
I could be getting married. I could have
She could be like, Matthew could be a transgender. You never know.
He looks like it.
Hey, do not fuck with Donald, dog. He got me banned, alright? Don't fuck with
You should have seen him. Like, he used to look like a dyke.
I can't kick nobody out.
Haley.
All right, so this was part of it where basically he's going off and on and on and on and on and on, basically saying the N-word, insisting that because he's not dropping the hard ER, it's not racist, and that he will use it as much as he wants. The girls try sort of laugh and giggle, and they're reading comments to him that's from the chat. People in chat are outraged. Many are like screaming at him, telling him it's not okay to use the words. Others are encouraging him. She reads a comment where someone actually says it. She reads it back to him, Haley number 2. And then they start joking about, he says, well, why do people asking you if you're pregnant? And then she goes, well, I could get married. And then Haley number 1 says, well, he could be just a transgender. And then they start laughing. And then Haley number 1 refers to him as looking like a dyke, which is a derogatory word in 2019 for lesbian. So obviously this prompted a lot of outrage and anger, but it got worse because about 6 minutes and 52 into the recording, their friend Devin, who was with them and is apparently a father, because Haley number 2 and Matthew were with Devin and his girlfriend, and they have a baby that they kept showing on the video, and he joins to say this. Oops.
Thanks for the clout. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the views. Thanks for the follows, you hating fags. Appreciate that clout. We need that. Keep giving us clout. Keep giving us clout. Verified before you know it.
Why? Who's Michael talking to? Y'all fool now or what? Who's he talking to? Spice is like,
We can get it from there.
yeah, I'm sure.
All you hating faggots. Thanks for the clout. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the views. Thanks.
So he says, all you hated F's. And the girls, again, just laugh and giggle. And then he goes on and he shows everyone all of his Michael Kors diaper bags and his $200 game controller. And they continue to laugh and they're giggling. And obviously, this is getting a lot of people agitated. Chloe Mendoza, who is a girl from the show, dating Max, she was in the chat. She saw the chat, and then when I people were telling me, you gotta go live. So then I go live, letting people know about what happened, and then Chloe comes onto my live and starts like telling me. She asks me, please tell me that you got that on tape. Please tell me that you have the recording. And then she messages me, and we start talking about it, and she's like outraged. Okay, not only did that happen, but then. After I recorded everything and I put it up on Instagram, I tagged the people that were involved so they would see that it was being viewed by other people. I don't want to hide things. I want to be transparent, but they knew that this was being recorded. And I did tell them that. And then Haley, number 2, says, I said, tagged any of us, why? And I said, you're going to get into so much trouble. And she says, I'm not on TLC, honey, so I'm not going to get in trouble, LMAO. And she said, so you are okay with the repeated use, I asked her, you are okay with the repeated use of the N-word and the use of an F-word to describe gay people, because there's 12 minutes of that recorded. And she said, can I control what someone else does? No, I didn't say SHIT, so how about you get out of my messages? And I said, you messaged me. And then she said, because you tagged me, and I said, you can control what you put out there, and hanging with people that use it, your boyfriend is saying it. And she said, okay, you're irrelevant. Following that, she got onto my comments, and when Chloe Mendoza was tagging TLC, asking them to say something or do something, she says to Chloe, and what are they going to do? The season's over. They know Haley and Matthew and myself aren't doing another season, so what you think they're getting us fired from? LMFAO. I can't control what Matthew said and Haley didn't even say on this live. Y'all are so bored with y'all's own lives, man. It's sad. Tagging TLC, ooh, oh my God, I'm so scared. Nothing we did in our live is illegal, so therefore what you do think TLC is going to do. You are banned and they can't be on another season. Thank God. We didn't want to be on that SHIT again anyways. TLC, let me go ahead and tag you since your little movie star Chloe finds it so necessary. So Haley and Chloe do not get along. Chloe was at the reunion and would not talk to Haley, didn't want to hang out with her, did not appreciate what she did to Haley, number 1, found the entire situation awful, didn't want to be fake. She had done an Instagram live back in September where she basically said all of the girls on the show talked a lot of crap about Haley, number 2, but then as soon as the reunion comes up, everyone was super nice to her face. And Chloe said in her Instagram live that she didn't want to be fake. She didn't want to be phony. And so rather than hanging out with Chloe, she just didn't hang out with anyone because she didn't want to be a part of it. And she said she didn't like what she did to Haley, number 1. So they have this beef, and clearly Haley, number 2, is mad at Chloe because she thinks that Chloe is like their little darling. I should note that Chloe is not returning to this next season. At least that's what she told me last night via Messenger. And she's also made a video which she posted on YouTube where she said she's not going back. Now, Haley, number 2, insists she's not going to be back, but it's interesting because they haven't announced the cast yet, so there isn't any idea who is going to be on this next season. And at this point, none of them would be able to say whether they're on the next season or not. They change casts, but they do bring people forward from season to season. Michaela Adkins was on multiple seasons. Chloe has been on multiple seasons. So whether or not they're not going to be on another show doesn't seem to be relevant. And her Haley number one's sister-in-law basically said that she didn't say that they weren't going to be on the show. She said, well, if she gets fired, I guess she won't get to do another season. So there seems to be some conflicting information here. Maybe they don't want Haley number 2 back and they're going to continue on with Haley number 1. I'm not sure. But then Haley number 1, in the middle of all of this, decides that she's going to promote this guy who is S. Paz. Haley number 1 insisted on Instagram after all this happened that she didn't say it. She's not racist. It's nothing, no big deal. But then when I go to this guy's when I went to this guy's, so she's telling her fans to follow this guy, and this guy has guns that he's brandishing. He has people speaking to him with the N-word. He has his head, he has a video on his Instagram of him putting his head in a bag of weed, which, by the way, is illegal in the state of Kentucky. I don't care what you guys do, but it is illegal. He's also wearing his work shirt there at Roosters. And then he has this on his Instagram stories right now, which says, I'm ready, BITCH, killa and quick ova some petty SHIT, showing a gun. So I posted those on my Instagram because obviously, like, that's what I do. I cover the show. And she said, he didn't say the N-word. He replied to someone else saying it. How old are you? Are you stalking me? Like, I can't even give someone a shout out. It's sad. Well, he actually did say the N-word in that photo. I just didn't include that photo in the mock-up that I actually shared. And then, you know, we pointed out the drugs, the guns that were on there. Chloe Mendoza spoke out following all of this. She posted, Matthew saying the N-word multiple times on Haley's Live is trash and ignorance. And then Haley was getting a lot of hate. And so she starts, like, this gets posted where it's, because they said, well, how do you know that, how do they know you're even pregnant? Like, why do they keep asking that? Like, they don't know, nothing's been said. And she says, go and say whatever hell you want about me, my hair, my teeth, I'm a terrible friend, blah, blah, blah. You aren't going to tell me to kill myself or I deserve death or my baby deserves to die. My baby. She calls it her baby. So again, confirmation she's pregnant. So then her sister-in-law, Chelsea, is there. Don't worry about it, Haley. It's just social media. Some people make it their whole life. And people start talking to her about it. People are pointing out to Haley that sharing things and being involved in this type of stuff when she's a mother to Kinsley is really irresponsible. And her sister-in-law defends her and says, this is my sister-in-law. I understand you have a job to report and repost all new, but Haley is, as a mother, has never let this guy near Kinsley. She shouts people out all the time. She is a mother, a great mother. She only goes live when Kinsley is asleep. Do you see her with her child off social media? Doubtful, because she doesn't let many people near her daughter. The thing is, a mother should do. She's a terrific mother in person. This show has damn near screwed up her life. And she said, I agree the kid wasn't the best person to shout out. I stand by that. He shouldn't be flaunting guns or weed. However, I know Haley more than anyone on social media does. She does not condone that behavior near Kinsley. I understand how it looks. Just want to set the record straight. And that it just doesn't really get better. Because even though she says, like, it's not okay, this guy that she is shouting out is actually friends with Matthew. So in a photo on that guy's Instagram page, he has a photo with Devin. Devin is the one that you heard in the video using the F word to call as a derogatory word for gay people. He is friends with Devin and Matthew's friends with Devin, theoretically assuming that this person then all tied together is friends with Matthew, meaning that every single person that Matthew is in a circle with, who is the father of Kinsley, by the way, is running with guns, drugs, and using the N-word. Whether or not Kinsley sees this or not, this is in her life because her father is Matthew. Whether or not Haley allows that around Kinsley is kind of irrelevant. She's posting this on her Instagram to followers. The Unexpected crowd has a very young audience that loves them and looks up to them. And this type of behavior is being basically like minimized by these kids. And then when Chloe reached out to a producer, Chloe provided this screenshot to me. When Chloe Mendoza actually reached out to a producer at TLC, she said, you better get Matthew. He's out there on Haley's Live saying the N-word multiple times, and a lot of people are recording it. And they said, the response from the producer was, he doesn't even understand that what he's saying is wrong. I've tried I've tried to already reprimand him for it. And Chloe responded, trash and ignorance. And he says, yes, well, you know. So, that's where we're at there. Then Tyra went on Instagram Live shortly after all of this went down, and she was with Alex, who her boyfriend Alex is also part African American, meaning that her daughter is also Caucasian and African American as well, stating that it's completely not okay for anyone to use that word. And as a mother of a child that has mixed race, she said that she was outraged by what they were saying. Chloe was outraged. I reached out to Rosa, Ryla's mom, who Ryla and Rosa are, Rosa is Puerto Rican and Colombian, and I'm not sure what ethnicity Ryla's father is, but Ryla has brown skin, and Ryla was outraged as well and angry, and Rosa called the behavior unacceptable and horrific, and she was hoping TLC would do something about it and not acceptable. So clearly, this is a very diverse cast with a lot of different people on it. There's been no announcement yet by TLC related to any of this. Matthew and Haley number 2 insist they're not coming back. Haley number 1 has never made that statement that I can see. So this is, again, like what happens when we glorify and provide a platform to children having children. And then they're growing up before our eyes. They are from Kentucky, so I'm sure they'll say, well, this is what we say here, which doesn't make the use of the term acceptable either. And then we have some issues with just what TLC is going to do for this. If you remember, TLC actually fired Derek Dillard for his statements he made on social media around a transgender female, Jazz, from another show, I Am Jazz, comments about her transition, and TLC, he felt glorifying her transition, and TLC fired him for making homophobic and transphobic statements. It'll be interesting to see how they respond to this, because this live not only included the N-word, but it also included transphobic and homophobic statements. TLC seems to have a little bit more interest in cutting ties when people act poorly, so we'll see how they respond. Thus far, there has been no statements from TLC at this time, so we'll see. But I hope you guys enjoy, tell me how you think. Like, is it okay? Is it not okay? Like, what do you think TLC should do? How do you think they should move forward? They are of the opinion that it doesn't matter because the season's over. Literally, there's one episode left. So the season actually isn't over. It has one episode to air, which is on Sunday night, where Haley number 2 and Matthew are supposed to be the pinnacle and sort of the focal point, and is being promoted as like the big aha for that episode. And you have the stars of that episode acting very poorly on social media using racial words and homophobic words. So drop me some comments below. I spoke to a ton of the cast members, and literally it was flat out, everyone was outraged. So I'll be back later. Amber Portwood went live, and I have her whole live that I got to dig through and some nuggets to share with you about what she had to say following her plea agreement last week. All right, you guys, bye.